The pulsating bass reverberated through the crowded nightclub as I made my way past gyrating bodies and swirling lights. The air was thick with excitement and a hint of something more, a tension I couldn't quite place. Tonight was supposed to be a casual outing, a chance to unwind after a long week. But what I stumbled upon shattered that illusion entirely. Her name was Emily, my wife of 5 years, blonde, vibrant, and usually the epitome of grace. As I navigated through the dimly lit dance floor, searching for her familiar figure, I caught a glimpse of her near the back, illuminated by the neon glow. My heart skipped a beat as I saw her, not chatting with friends as I had expected, but moving sensually around a pole. I froze, disbelief gripping me like a vice. Emily, my Emily, dancing provocatively in a way I had never seen before. Her movements were mesmerizing, drawing the attention of everyone around her, mostly men whose eyes were glued to her every sway and turn. A sickening feeling settled in the pit of my stomach as I watched, unable to tear my eyes away. What the hell? I muttered under my breath, feeling a mix of anger, betrayal, and confusion surge through me. I had trusted her and believed in our marriage, and now this scene unfolded before me, mocking everything we had built together. For a moment, I considered turning away, pretending I hadn't seen anything. But curiosity and a gnawing need for answers pushed me forward. I had to know why she was here, doing this. Was it a mistake, a misunderstanding, or something far more sinister? Swallowing hard, I navigated through the throngs of dancers, feeling the intensity of the music pounding in my chest. Each step brought me closer to Emily, closer to the truth I wasn't sure I was ready to face. My mind raced with questions, my emotions a turbulent storm of hurt and disbelief. As I reached the outskirts of the dance floor, I caught her eye. For a split second, her expression flickered with surprise before settling into a mask of forced nonchalance. I approached, my heart pounding so loudly I was sure she could hear it too. "Emily," I managed to say, my voice tight with a mix of anger and hurt. "What are you doing here?" Her gaze faltered for a moment before she replied, her tone strained. "Oh, hey, Mark, I just needed to blow off some steam, you know." Blow off steam. The words echoed hollowly in my ears, a feeble attempt at justification, but I wasn't buying it, not after what I had just witnessed. "Blow off steam?" I repeated incredulously, my voice rising despite my efforts to stay composed. "By dancing like that." Her eyes flickered with guilt, her facade cracking ever so slightly. "It's not what it looks like, Mark. I can explain." My jaw clenched as a surge of emotions threatened to overwhelm me. Anger, hurt, betrayal, they all warred within me, demanding to be heard. But amidst the chaos, one thing became clear. I needed to hear her explanation, no matter how painful it might be. "Explain, Emily," I demanded, my voice quieter now but no less intense. "Explain to me why I just saw my wife dancing like she's single in a damn nightclub." And with those words hanging heavy between us, the truth, whatever it may be, felt agonizingly out of reach. Emily's eyes darted nervously around the dimly lit corner of the nightclub as she searched for the right words. Her usual poise and confidence seemed to falter under my penetrating gaze, and for a moment, silence hung heavy between us. I didn't think you would come here tonight," she finally stammered, her voice tinged with guilt. My heart sank further at her response, a knot tightening in my stomach. "So this is something you do regularly then? Sneak off to dance like this?" Her lips parted as if to speak, but no words came out. The truth was written in her hesitation, in the way she avoided my eyes. "Mark, please," she pleaded softly, her voice barely audible over the thumping bass. "It's not what you think." I clenched my fists, struggling to contain the whirlwind of emotions raging inside me. "Then tell me, Emily, what am I supposed to think? What am I supposed to believe when I see you like this?" She took a deep breath, her shoulders sagging slightly. I've been feeling so suffocated lately. Suffocated by routine, by expectations, by you that her words hit me like a sucker punch. I had thought our life together was stable and secure. I had never imagined she felt suffocated by our marriage. I never wanted to hurt you, she continued, her voice wavering. I just needed something different, something that's just mine. Anger flared up again, hot and sharp. Different? Like dancing for a bunch of strangers? Like hiding this from me? Emily's eyes welled with tears, her vulnerability suddenly stark against the backdrop of the club's flashing lights. I know it was wrong, Mark. I know. But I never meant for you to find out like this. Her words cut through my anger, stirring a pang of pity in my chest. How long has this been going on? I asked quietly, the ache in my voice betraying the hurt beneath. She hesitated, wiping away a tear with trembling fingers. A few months, she admitted, her voice barely a whisper. It started as a way to feel alive again, to feel like I had some control over my life. The confession hung heavily in the air, each word another blow to the image I had of our marriage. A marriage I had believed was built on trust and love. Why didn't you talk to me, Emily? I asked, my voice tinged with sorrow. Why didn't you tell me you were feeling this way? I was scared, she admitted, her voice cracking. Scared that you wouldn't understand, that you'd judge me. I ran a hand through my hair, struggling to process it all. You chose to hide this from me instead? She nodded, tears streaming down her cheeks now. I thought I could handle it on my own. I thought it was just a phase. The pain of betrayal mingled with a hint of deep sadness as I looked at her, my wife, standing before me with her defenses crumbling. I don't know if I can trust you anymore, Emily, I admitted, my voice raw with emotion. Her gaze met mine, desperate and pleading. Please, Mark, I love you. I made a mistake, but I love you. Love. The word hung between us, heavy with meaning and uncertainty. Could love withstand this breach of trust? Could it heal the wounds now laid bare? I need time, I finally said, my voice barely audible over the music. Time to figure out if we can move past this. She nodded silently, tears still glistening in her eyes. And as we stood there, amidst the pulsating beats and swirling lights of the nightclub, the future of our marriage seemed as uncertain as the path I would choose next. The days that followed were a blur of conflicting emotions and sleepless nights. Each moment seemed to oscillate between anger, hurt, and a lingering sense of disbelief. Emily's revelation had shattered the foundation of trust I thought was unshakable, leaving me adrift in a sea of uncertainty. I retreated into myself, seeking solace in the quiet corners of our home that suddenly felt too big, too empty. Conversations with Emily were strained, filled with awkward silences and tentative attempts at reconciliation that led nowhere. The wounds were too fresh, too deep to be easily healed. Yet amidst the turmoil, a part of me clung to the memories of our happier times. The laughter, the shared dreams, the love that had once felt unbreakable. Could those memories withstand this betrayal? Could they anchor us through this storm? One evening, as dusk settled over the quiet neighborhood, I found myself drawn to our wedding album tucked away on the bookshelf. Dusty and neglected, its pages unfolded a story of love and promises made, of smiles frozen in time. I traced the lines of Emily's face in the photographs, searching for answers in the warmth of her smile, in the sparkle of her eyes. Who was the woman I had married, and who had she become? Lost in thought, I heard the soft creak of the front door opening. Emily stepped into the room, her presence both familiar and foreign. She hesitated, as if unsure whether to approach or retreat. I've been thinking, she began softly, her voice tentative, about what you said, about needing time. I closed the album gently, meeting her gaze. And what have you been thinking? She took a step closer, her expression earnest. I've been thinking about us, about what we've built together. I felt a pang of longing, a flicker of hope amidst the turmoil. What do you want, Emily? Her eyes brimmed with tears, and her vulnerability laid bare. I want us, Mark. I want to fix this, to earn back your trust. Her words hung in the air, heavy with the weight of our uncertain future. Could we rebuild what was broken? Could forgiveness pave the way forward? I don't know if I can trust you again, I admitted quietly, my voice tinged with sorrow. She nodded, tears spilling over. I understand. I hurt you, and I regret it every day. Silence stretched between us, the weight of unspoken words echoing in the room. And yet, beneath the pain and betrayal, a flicker of love remained, a fragile thread binding us together. "I need time," I finally said, my voice steady despite the turmoil inside. "To heal, to forgive." She nodded again, her resolve firming. "I'll give you all the time you need, Mark. Just please, don't give up on use." And as she turned to leave, the ache in my heart echoed her words. Could I find it within myself to forgive, to rebuild what was shattered? The answer remained elusive, buried beneath layers of hurt and longing. But as I watched her walk away, a glimmer of hope stirred within me, a whisper of possibility that maybe, just maybe, love could conquer even this. Days turned into weeks, and the atmosphere at home remained heavy with unspoken words and unresolved tensions. Emily and I navigated each day with cautious steps, our interactions strained yet tinged with a fragile hope for reconciliation. I threw myself into work, seeking refuge in the familiar routine and the distraction it offered. But no matter how busy I kept myself, thoughts of Emily and our fractured marriage haunted me like a relentless shadow. One evening, as I sat alone at the kitchen table, my mind wandered back to the night at the nightclub. The memory was vivid and painful, a wound that refused to heal. What had driven Emily to seek solace in the dimly lit corners of that place? And could I ever trust her again? The sound of footsteps interrupted my reverie. Emily appeared in the doorway, her expression hesitant yet determined. "Can we talk?" she asked softly, her eyes searching mine. I nodded, setting aside the papers I had been pretending to read. "Yes, we should." She crossed the room slowly, settling into the chair opposite me. Silence stretched between us, thick with unspoken apologies and unshed tears. "I've been seeing a therapist," Emily began quietly, her voice barely above a whisper, "to work through everything." I blinked in surprise, caught off guard by her admission. "Why didn't you tell me?" Her gaze faltered, guilt flashing across her features. "I wanted to show you, not just tell you, that I'm committed to changing, to making things right." I studied her face, searching for signs of sincerity amidst the pain and regret. "And what have you learned?" She took a deep breath, her hands twisting nervously in her lap. "That I was running away from my problems instead of facing them. That I hurt you, and I hate myself for it." Her vulnerability pierced through my defenses, stirring a mix of sympathy and skepticism within me. "Emily, trust isn't easily rebuilt," I said finally, my voice raw with emotion. "It takes time, effort, and honesty." She nodded, tears welling in her eyes. "I know, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes." The weight of her words hung heavy in the air, a tentative bridge spanning the chasm between us. Could I find it within myself to forgive her, to believe in us again? "I want to believe you," I admitted quietly, my voice tinged with uncertainty. "But trust, it's not something I can just switch back on." Her shoulders sagged, disappointment mingling with understanding. "I know. I don't expect you to forgive me overnight." Silence settled between us once more, the gravity of our situation weighing heavily on both of us. And yet, beneath the pain and doubt, a flicker of hope persisted, a fragile ember refusing to be extinguished. "I need time," I said finally, meeting her gaze with a mix of resolve and longing. "To heal, to rebuild." She nodded slowly, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears. "I'll give you all the time you need, Mark. Just, please don't give up on us." Her words echoed in the silence, a plea for understanding and forgiveness. Could I find it within myself to grant her that? Could I find a way to rebuild what was broken, to trust again? As Emily rose to leave, the weight of her presence lingered in the room, and as I watched her walk away, uncertainty mingled with a glimmer of possibility, a whisper of hope that maybe, just maybe, love could prevail against all odds. Weeks turned into months, each day a delicate balance between healing and rebuilding. Emily and I navigated our fragile relationship with cautious steps, the wounds of betrayal still tender but slowly giving way to a newfound understanding and hope. We attended couples therapy together, a hesitant yet necessary step towards unraveling the complexities that had driven us apart. In those sessions, emotions flowed freely. Anger, hurt, remorse, but also moments of vulnerability and tentative reconciliation. Through it all, Emily remained steadfast in her commitment to change. She sought individual therapy to address the underlying issues that had led her to seek solace in the nightclub that fateful night. Her honesty and willingness to confront her shortcomings began to chip away at the walls of distrust that had been erected between us. For my part, I wrestled with my demons, pride, fear, and a stubborn reluctance to let go of the hurt. But beneath the surface, a part of me yearned for the love and companionship we had once shared, memories of our laughter, our shared dreams, and the quiet moments of intimacy whispered of a bond that refused to be extinguished. One evening, as we sat together on the porch under a canopy of stars, Emily turned to me with a question that hung heavy in the air. "Mark," she began softly, her voice tinged with hope and uncertainty, "do you think we can make it through this?" I studied her face in the soft glow of the porch light, searching for the answer within myself. The journey had been long and arduous, marked by setbacks and small victories alike. But in her eyes I saw a reflection of my longing, a desire to reclaim what we had lost. "I want to believe we can," I admitted finally, the weight of my words underscoring the gravity of our situation. "But trust, it's still a work in progress." She nodded, her expression a mix of understanding and determination. "I know, and I'm willing to keep working at it every day." Her sincerity touched something deep within me, a flicker of hope that perhaps, against all odds, we could find our way back to each other. We talked late into the night, sharing fears, hopes, and tentative plans for the future. The wounds of betrayal remained, but they were slowly being overshadowed by a newfound sense of mutual understanding and empathy. As the days turned into weeks, our efforts began to bear fruit. We laughed more freely, spoke more openly, and found solace in each other's company once more. The shadows of doubt that had clouded our relationship began to dissipate, replaced by a tentative optimism and a shared commitment to rebuilding what we had lost. It wasn't easy. There were moments of doubt, hesitation, and painful reminders of the past, but through it all, we clung to each other with a renewed sense of purpose, a determination to forge a future built on honesty, forgiveness, and unwavering love. And as we stood together facing the uncertainties of tomorrow hand in hand, I knew that our journey was far from over. But at that moment, surrounded by the quiet strength of our shared resolve, I felt a glimmer of hope, a belief that together we could weather any storm that lay ahead. For love, as fragile and resilient as it may be, had brought us back from the brink, and in its enduring embrace, we found the courage to embrace the journey forward, one step at a time. As months passed and our efforts to rebuild our relationship continued, a sense of cautious optimism began to settle between Emily and me. The wounds of betrayal were still tender, but they no longer dominated our every interaction. Instead, we found ourselves rediscovering the strengths of our bond and forging a path toward a new beginning. Couples therapy became a regular part of our routine, offering a safe space to unpack our emotions, address lingering doubts, and learn healthier communication strategies. Through these sessions, we unearthed buried resentments and fears, but also unearthed deeper layers of empathy and understanding for each other's perspectives. One crisp autumn evening, as the leaves painted the neighborhood in hues of gold and amber, Emily and I found ourselves taking a stroll through the park near our home. The air was cool and refreshing, a welcome contrast to the warmth that had blossomed between us. "I never thought we'd come this far," Emily murmured, her voice soft with reflection. I glanced at her, a smile tugging at the corners of my mouth. Neither did I. She reached for my hand, intertwining her fingers with mine as we continued walking in companionable silence. The weight of her touch spoke volumes, of forgiveness sought and earned, of wounds healing over time. "I'm grateful for this second chance, Mark," Emily confessed, her gaze fixed on the path ahead. "For your patience, your willingness to forgive." I squeezed her hand gently, feeling a surge of tenderness for the woman beside me. The same woman who had once danced in the shadows of a nightclub, seeking solace in the wrong places. "We've both had to work hard for this," I replied honestly. my voice tinged with gratitude. But it's worth it. The park around us seemed to echo our sentiment, bathed in the soft glow of streetlights and the rustling of autumn leaves. In that moment, the uncertainties that had once plagued our relationship felt distant, replaced by a renewed sense of hope and purpose. As we neared a familiar bench overlooking a tranquil pond, Emily paused and turned to face me, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears. "Mark," she began, her voice steady yet vulnerable, "I want to spend the rest of my life making it up to you. To us." I felt a lump form in my throat at her words, a rush of emotion threatening to overwhelm me. In that simple declaration, I heard echoes of our shared dreams, of a future rebuilt on the foundation of our love. "I want that too, Emily," I replied softly, my heart swelling with a mix of love and relief. "Let's take it one day at a time." And as we sat together on that bench, watching the last rays of the sun dip below the horizon, I knew that our journey was far from over. But with each step forward, guided by honesty, forgiveness, and unwavering commitment, we embraced the promise of a new beginning, a future shaped not by the mistakes of our past, but by the strength of our enduring love. Hand in hand, we faced tomorrow with a newfound sense of hope and possibility, ready to write the next chapter of our story together. As the seasons changed and our commitment to rebuilding our relationship deepened, Emily and I embarked on a journey of rediscovery and growth. Each day brought new challenges and small triumphs, weaving a tapestry of resilience and renewal. Our sessions with the therapist evolved from addressing past hurts to exploring our aspirations for the future. We discussed our dreams, fears, and aspirations with a newfound openness and vulnerability, strengthening the bond that had once been fractured. One weekend, we decided to take a spontaneous road trip to a quaint coastal town we had visited early in our relationship. The drive was filled with laughter and reminiscing, a nostalgic journey through the milestones of our shared history. Arriving at our destination, we strolled along the shoreline hand in hand, the salty breeze a welcome reminder of the healing power of time and forgiveness. "I never thought we'd come back here," Emily mused, her voice tinged with nostalgia as we watched the waves crash against the shore. I smiled, squeezing her hand gently. "It feels like coming full circle, doesn't it?" She nodded, her eyes shimmering with emotion. "It's like we're starting over, but with a deeper understanding of what matters." Our conversations were filled with hope and plans for the future, travels we wanted to embark on, goals we wanted to achieve together, and the family we hoped to build. These discussions were tinged with a sense of gratitude for the second chance we had been given, a chance to rewrite our story with honesty, trust, and unwavering commitment. One evening, as we dined at a cozy seaside restaurant, Emily reached across the table and took my hand in hers. Her touch was tender, a silent reassurance of the love that had weathered storms and emerged stronger. "Mark," she began softly, her eyes meeting mine with a depth of sincerity that took my breath away. "Thank you for not giving up on us, for giving me the chance to prove myself." I gazed into her eyes, my heart swelling with love and pride. "Thank you for fighting for us, Emily, for being willing to change and grow." Her smile was radiant, a reflection of the hope and happiness that had blossomed between us once more. "I love you," she whispered, her voice a promise of forever. "And I love you," I replied, my voice filled with conviction. At that moment, beneath the starlit sky and the gentle lull of the ocean, we renewed our commitment to each other and to the future we had dared to dream of, a future built on the foundation of our shared journey, our resilience, and our enduring love. As we toasted to new beginnings and the endless possibilities that lay ahead, I knew that together we had found our way back to each other, a journey worth every moment of hardship and every triumph along the way. Hand in hand, we embraced the beauty of our renewed love, ready to face whatever tomorrow may bring, united in the promise of a life filled with love, forgiveness, and limitless possibility. As Emily and I continued to nurture our renewed relationship, we faced new challenges that tested the strength of our commitment and the depth of our love. Life, with its unpredictable twists and turns, presented us with hurdles to overcome and opportunities to grow together. One such challenge emerged when Emily's job demanded a relocation to another city, a prospect that filled us both with excitement and trepidation. It was an opportunity for career advancement for Emily, but it meant uprooting ourselves from the familiar and starting anew in an unfamiliar place. We deliberated over this decision for weeks, weighing the pros and cons and exploring what it would mean for our relationship. Ultimately, we decided to embrace the adventure together, viewing it as a chance to strengthen our bond and build a future grounded in shared experiences. The move itself was both exhilarating and daunting. We packed our belongings, said bittersweet goodbyes to friends and family, and embarked on a journey to our new home. The transition was marked by moments of excitement as we explored our new surroundings, but also moments of homesickness and adjustment as we settled into a different rhythm of life. Amidst the chaos of unpacking boxes and navigating unfamiliar streets, Emily and I leaned on each other for support. We tackled challenges as a team, celebrating small victories and offering comfort during moments of doubt. One evening, as we stood on the balcony of our new apartment overlooking the city skyline, Emily turned to me with a smile that lit up the night. "We did it," she said softly, her eyes reflecting a mix of pride and gratitude. I wrapped my arms around her, pulling her close. "We did," I agreed, feeling a surge of pride in our resilience and determination. Together, we embraced the opportunities that our new city offered, exploring its parks, trying new restaurants, and meeting new friends. Each experience strengthened our bond and reaffirmed our decision to face life's challenges together, hand in hand. Through it all, our commitment to open communication and mutual respect continued to guide us. We learned from our past mistakes, cherishing the lessons that had brought us closer and vowing never to take our love for granted again. As we settled into our new life, Emily and I reflected on how far we had come, from the brink of heartache to a place of renewed hope and happiness. Our journey together was a testament to the power of love, forgiveness, and the unwavering belief that together we could conquer any obstacle. As we looked ahead to the future, filled with dreams and possibilities, I knew that with Emily by my side, there was nothing we couldn't face, no challenge too great to overcome. Hand in hand, we embraced the adventure of our shared life, ready to write the next chapter of our story with courage, resilience, and boundless love. In our new city, Emily and I continued to thrive, embracing the opportunities that came our way and deepening our connection with each passing day. As we settled into our new routines and explored the vibrant community around us, our relationship blossomed with a renewed sense of purpose and gratitude. One of the most transformative aspects of our journey together was our commitment to personal growth. Emily continued her therapy sessions, delving deeper into understanding herself and her motivations. Through introspection and hard work, she confronted her insecurities and learned healthier ways to cope with stress and dissatisfaction. I, too, embarked on a journey of self-discovery, exploring my vulnerabilities and strengths. Therapy sessions helped me confront lingering doubts and fears, allowing me to heal from past wounds and embrace the present with renewed clarity and optimism. Together, Emily and I attended workshops and seminars on communication and relationship building. We honed our skills in active listening, empathy, and conflict resolution, ensuring that our newfound harmony was built on a foundation of mutual understanding and respect. As we navigated the ups and downs of life in our new city, we celebrated milestones both big and small. From promotions at work to personal achievements, each success reinforced our belief in each other and the strength of our partnership. One sunny afternoon, as we picnicked in a park overlooking the river, Emily turned to me with a soft smile playing on her lips. "Mark," she began, her voice tinged with warmth, "I'm grateful for this journey we've been on, for the growth we've experienced together." I reached for her hand, squeezing it gently. "Me too, Emily. It hasn't always been easy, but it's been worth it." Her eyes shimmered with unshed tears, reflecting a mix of pride and affection. "I never imagined we could come this far." I leaned in closer, brushing a stray strand of hair from her face. "Neither did I. But here we are, stronger than ever. Together we savored the beauty of the moment, the laughter of children playing nearby, the gentle rustle of leaves in the breeze, and the quiet assurance of our shared love and commitment." As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the skyline, Emily and I toasted to the future. A future filled with endless possibilities, shared dreams, and a love that had weathered storms and emerged stronger. Hand in hand, we embraced the lessons of our past, the joys of our present, and the promise of tomorrow. With gratitude in our hearts and a deep-seated belief in our resilience, we looked ahead to the next chapter of our journey, ready to face whatever challenges and joys life had in store. Emily and I stood hand in hand under the canopy of twinkling lights, surrounded by friends and family who had gathered to celebrate our 10th wedding anniversary. It was a momentous occasion, a testament to the resilience of our love and the journey we had traveled together. The evening was filled with laughter, music, and heartfelt toasts that spoke of the challenges we had overcome and the joys we had shared. As we danced under the starry sky, I couldn't help but reflect on the milestones that had brought us to this beautiful moment. In the years since our reconciliation, our bond had deepened beyond measure. We had weathered storms together and emerged stronger, our commitment to each other reaffirmed with each passing day. During a quiet moment away from the festivities, Emily and I found ourselves gazing out at the city skyline from the balcony of our home. The lights twinkled below, a reflection of the love and happiness that filled our hearts. "Mark," Emily began softly, her voice filled with emotion, "I never thought we would be here, celebrating 10 years of marriage." I turned to her, my heart overflowing with love. "Neither did I, Emily, but I'm so grateful we made it." She reached for my hand, intertwining her fingers with mine. "Thank you for never giving up on us, for believing in our love even when things were difficult." Tears welled in my eyes as I looked at the woman who had been my partner, my confidante, and my love through it all. "Thank you for fighting for us, Emily, for choosing to grow and change alongside me." We stood there in silence for a moment, the weight of our shared journey settling around us like a comforting embrace. The memories of our struggles and triumphs mingled with a profound sense of gratitude for the second chance we had been given. As the night drew to a close, surrounded by the warmth of our loved ones and the glow of our shared history, I knew that our love story was far from over. It was a story of resilience, forgiveness, and unwavering commitment, a story that would continue to unfold with each passing year. Hand in hand, Emily and I embraced the future with renewed hope and anticipation, ready to face whatever challenges and joys life had in store for us. For together we had learned that love, when nurtured with patience and understanding, could conquer even the greatest of obstacles. And as we whispered promises of forever into the night, I knew that our love was a gift, a beautiful, enduring gift that would continue to illuminate our lives and our hearts for years to come. Emily and I found ourselves at a crossroads, a moment filled with both excitement and reflection as we stood on the threshold of a new chapter in our lives. Our journey together had been marked by growth, resilience, and the unwavering belief in our love. But now we faced new adventures that beckoned us forward. One of the biggest decisions we faced was starting a family. It was a dream we had both cherished quietly, a dream that now felt within reach as we settled into the stability and happiness of our renewed relationship. Months passed as we navigated the anticipation and uncertainty of trying to conceive. We shared moments of hope and disappointment, leaning on each other for support and strength during this emotional journey. Finally, one sunny morning, Emily emerged from the bathroom with a radiant smile, clutching a positive pregnancy test in her hand. Tears of joy streamed down her cheeks as she shared the news with me, her excitement palpable and contagious. "We're going to be parents, Mark," she exclaimed, her voice trembling with emotion. I held her close, feeling an overwhelming surge of happiness and gratitude. "I can't believe it," I murmured, kissing her forehead tenderly. "This is everything we've hoped for." As the weeks turned into months, we eagerly prepared for the arrival of our baby. We attended prenatal classes together, decorated the nursery with care, and shared moments of wonder as we felt the first fluttering kicks of life within Emily's womb. Throughout it all, our love deepened with each passing day. We marveled at the miracle of new life growing inside Emily, a testament to the strength of our bond and the future we were building together. One evening, as we sat together in the nursery, surrounded by soft pastel colors and the promise of impending parenthood, Emily turned to me with a tender smile. "Mark," she began softly, her hand resting on her growing belly. "I never imagined we would be here, about to welcome our child into the world." I wrapped my arms around her, feeling the gentle rhythm of our baby's movements between us. "It's a dream come true, Emily, and I couldn't imagine this journey with anyone else but you." Her eyes shimmered with unshed tears of happiness. "I love you so much," she whispered, her voice filled with emotion. "And I love you," I replied, pressing a kiss to her lips. In that moment, surrounded by the love and anticipation that filled our hearts, we knew that our journey together was far from over. We were embarking on the greatest adventure of all, parenthood, an adventure that would test our patience, fill our hearts with joy, and deepen the bond that had carried us through so much. Hand in hand, we embraced the future with hope and excitement, ready to welcome our baby into a world filled with love, laughter, and endless possibilities. The arrival of our baby transformed our lives in ways we had never imagined. Parenthood welcomed us into a new realm of love, responsibility, and profound joy. Emily and I marveled at the tiny bundle of life we had brought into the world, each moment filled with awe and wonder. The first weeks were a whirlwind of sleepless nights and tender moments. We took turns soothing our newborn, learning the rhythms of feeding and diaper changes, and navigating the overwhelming love that filled our hearts. As we adjusted to our new roles as parents, Emily and I found ourselves drawing strength from each other. We supported one another through the challenges and celebrated the milestones, the first smile, the first giggle, and the first tentative steps towards independence. Our home was filled with laughter and the sweet scent of baby lotion. We cherished quiet moments together as a family, reading bedtime stories, singing lullabies, and creating memories that would shape our child's future. One evening, as we sat on the couch with our baby nestled between us, Emily turned to me with a soft smile. "Mark," she began, her voice filled with tenderness. I never knew my heart could hold so much love. I gazed at her, my heart swelling with emotion. "Me neither, Emily. Our baby has brought so much joy into our lives." She reached for my hand, intertwining our fingers. "Thank you for being such an amazing partner and father." Tears welled in my eyes as I leaned in to kiss her forehead. "And thank you for being the most incredible mother to our child. I couldn't have asked for more." In those quiet moments, as our baby slept peacefully in our arms, we reflected on the journey that had led us to this point. From the brink of heartache to the profound happiness of parenthood, our love had weathered storms and emerged stronger than ever. As the years passed, Emily and I embraced the challenges and joys of raising our child together. We navigated the highs and lows with patience, laughter, and unwavering support for each other. Through it all, our bond deepened, rooted in the shared experiences of parenthood and the enduring love that had brought us together. We celebrated birthdays, cheered at school performances, and cherished family vacations, each moment a testament to the beauty of our journey. As we watched our child grow into a kind, curious, and compassionate individual, we knew that our love had created something truly remarkable, a family filled with love, laughter, and boundless possibilities. Hand in hand, we embraced the gift of parenthood with gratitude and humility, knowing that our greatest adventure had only just begun. Years had passed since our journey through challenges and joys had begun. Emily and I found ourselves in a reflective phase, looking back on our shared experiences with a mixture of gratitude and introspection. However, amidst the calm and happiness, a shadow from our past unexpectedly resurfaced, an old acquaintance who unwittingly brought back memories of the betrayal that had once fractured our relationship. Seeing this person stirred dormant emotions and reignited buried insecurities. One evening, after putting our child to bed, Emily and I sat in silence on the couch, the weight of unspoken words hanging heavy in the air. I could sense her turmoil, the struggle to reconcile the person she had become with the actions of her past. "Mark," she began hesitantly, her voice tinged with vulnerability, "do you ever think about what happened?" I turned to her, meeting her gaze with a mixture of compassion and uncertainty. "Sometimes," I admitted quietly. It's hard not to. Emily nodded, her fingers twisting nervously in her lap. I never wanted to hurt you, she whispered, her voice cracking with emotion. I was lost and confused, and I made a terrible mistake. I reached for her hand, holding it gently in mine. I know, I murmured, my heart aching with the weight of our shared pain. And we've come a long way since then. Tears welled in Emily's eyes as she struggled to find the right words. I'm so sorry, Mark, she finally managed, her voice filled with remorse. For everything. I sighed softly, feeling the weight of forgiveness and healing settle around us like a comforting embrace. Emily, I said gently, I forgave you a long time ago. We've worked hard to rebuild our trust and our love. Her shoulders sagged with relief, and she leaned into my embrace. Thank you, she whispered, her voice muffled against my chest. In that moment of vulnerability and honesty, we reaffirmed our commitment to each other, a commitment forged through adversity, strengthened by forgiveness, and rooted in the unwavering belief that love could transcend even the deepest wounds. As we held each other close, the echoes of our past betrayal faded into the background, replaced by a renewed sense of gratitude for the resilience of our love and the beauty of our shared journey. Hand in hand, we embraced the future with hope and optimism, knowing that together, we had overcome the darkest moments to find a love that was stronger, deeper, and more enduring than we had ever imagined. As Emily and I returned home after a long-awaited vacation, the familiar sights and sounds of our surroundings seemed to envelop us in a comforting embrace. Our time away had been a chance to reconnect, to rediscover each other amidst the backdrop of new experiences and shared adventures. Yet, as we unpacked our suitcases and settled back into the routines of daily life, a sense of introspection settled over us. We found ourselves reflecting on the journey that had brought us to this point and contemplating the future of our relationship. Sitting together in our cozy living room one evening, I glanced at Emily, her face illuminated by the soft glow of the lamp beside her. Her eyes held a depth of emotion, a silent invitation to share our thoughts and hopes for what lay ahead. Emily, I began tentatively, breaking the comfortable silence that had settled between us. Do you ever think about where we're headed? She turned to me, a faint smile playing on her lips. All the time, she admitted softly. I think about how far we've come and what we still want to achieve together. I nodded, feeling a rush of gratitude for the woman beside me. The same woman who had once danced in shadows of doubt and uncertainty, but who had emerged stronger and more resilient. We've been through so much, I mused aloud, my voice tinged with reflection. And yet, here we are. Emily reached for my hand, squeezing it gently. I'm grateful for every moment, she confessed, her eyes meeting mine with unwavering sincerity. For the highs and the lows, because they've all led us to this place. Silence enveloped us once more, the weight of unspoken dreams and aspirations hanging between us like a promise waiting to be fulfilled. At that moment, I realized that our journey together was far from over. It was a continuous evolution of growth, love, and shared purpose. Emily, I said softly, breaking the silence once more. I want us to keep growing together, to keep exploring, learning, and supporting each other. Her smile widened, a reflection of the hope and determination that filled her heart. Me too, she replied, her voice filled with conviction. I believe in us, in what we've built together. As we sat together, surrounded by the warmth of our home and the love that had anchored us through storms and sunshine, I knew that our future was filled with endless possibilities. Together we would navigate the uncertainties and celebrate the triumphs, hand in hand, as partners and as allies. And as we looked ahead to the next chapter of our story, I embraced the beauty of our shared journey, the lessons learned, the memories created, and the love that bound us together, stronger than ever before. Hand in hand, we welcomed the future with open hearts and a steadfast belief in the enduring power of our love. In the quiet solitude of a late summer evening, Emily and I found ourselves reflecting on the journey that had brought us to this pivotal moment. Our conversations had evolved into deeper reflections on our individual growth, our shared experiences, and the future we envisioned together. Sitting across from each other in our favorite corner of the living room, I watched as Emily traced patterns on the coffee table with her finger, lost in thought. Her contemplative demeanor mirrored my own, as we both grappled with the question of what our next step should be. "Mark," Emily began softly, breaking the comfortable silence that had settled between us. "I've been thinking a lot about where we go from here." I nodded, meeting her gaze with a mixture of curiosity and anticipation. "Me too," I admitted honestly. "There's so much we've been through, and yet there's still so much ahead of us." She sighed softly, a hint of vulnerability in her voice. "I've come to realize how important it is for us to continue growing individually," Emily continued, her words measured and thoughtful. "To pursue our passions and dreams, while also nurturing our relationship." Her words resonated deeply within me, echoing the sentiments I had carried in my heart for so long. "You're right," I agreed, feeling a sense of clarity wash over me. "Our journey together is about supporting each other's personal growth while strengthening our bond." Emily smiled warmly, a flicker of hope dancing in her eyes. "I want us to keep exploring new possibilities," she confessed, her voice filled with determination, "to keep communicating openly and honestly, no matter what." I reached across the table, taking her hand in mine. "I want that too, Emily," I said earnestly. "To continue building a life together that's grounded in trust, respect, and unconditional love." As we sat together, bathed in the soft glow of the evening sun filtering through the window, I felt a profound sense of peace settles over us. Our journey had been marked by challenges and triumphs, heartache and healing, but through it all, we had found our way back to each other. In that moment of inner reconciliation, Emily and I made a silent vow to embrace the future with courage and conviction, to navigate the uncertainties of life hand in hand, drawing strength from our shared experiences and the unbreakable bond we had forged. And as we looked ahead to the horizon, filled with the promise of new beginnings and endless possibilities, I knew that our love story was far from over. It was a testament to the power of forgiveness, resilience, and the enduring hope that love could conquer all. Hand in hand, we embraced the decision to continue our journey together, ready to face whatever challenges and joys life had in store for us. For in each other's arms, we had found our home, a place where our hearts could rest, our dreams could flourish, and our love could thrive.